So, I've been thinking recently about the way in which I approach my paintings and the way how they might fit into the world, which, that's always important. We can't make paintings in a vacuum. They are meant to be shared with the world. They are meant to be shared with anyone, really. Uh, Even the process of making itself is sharing it. You're taking it from this thing, this feeling, this image, this desire. You're taking this from within you and you're transporting it onto a surface, and hopefully that surface is, with social media and tools like Instagram, it is easy to get your work to an audience, to anyone. You can take pictures and text them to people. It's really easy to share work and share um, paintings, and in these videos I feel like I'm trying to share my process and I'm trying to share my thoughts, and at the end of the day, like, the image isn't necessary, at least for my work, the image is not the most important part of the process. Like, well, the final image is ultimately important. It conveys all the things that you were doing and thinking and working with at the time. Hopefully, if it's successful, not necessarily at that very moment, but in those months or in that year or whenever the work was made. I think I know within me, anyways. I know that um, my work is something that I need to share with people. I need to make these paintings. And I do so not necessarily um, as a painter. I do them as a maker. And yes, painters are makers, for sure, because you're making paintings. But my understanding of the word maker, or the term maker, when it comes to a human being that makes things, is you have is that I have a drive. I have something within me that pushes me to make stuff. I want to do things with my hands. I want to um, put something out into the world that was not there before. And it was within me and within my power to have it be a part of the physical realm and allow other people to look at it and question it and um, gain something from it. Or, I mean, like, how there's nothing to lose, really, when sharing a piece of work. The world gains something. Your peers gain something. Your family, your friends, strangers, yourself, you gain something in putting your heart and the things that you love the most out into the world. The world gains something when a person is willing to do that. Is when a person is willing to reach within them and put work. And like, when it comes to sanding my paintings, I think about this a lot. Like, I put a lot of work even just into the surface, the stretcher, the canvas that I'm working on. Shout out to Kaya for letting me paint in their studio at school. They made an appearance. They don't mind, I hope, anyways. But yeah, shout out to Kaya, because they're the best, and they inspire me every day to make things for the sake of making, um, and sharing something with the world, and putting in that work, putting in that, you don't have to spell it out for people. Like, the image, within that image there is that painting, that canvas, whatever you define an image to be, like within that is that hard work that you put in regardless. Like, you know, these images, like these things that I'm placing on the canvas, like you're you're not going to see the thing. You're going to be able to see the outlines of it and how it gives the canvas texture, and how it allows the different colors that I put on later, the reds, um, to you're gonna to build that depth and to give the painting more life. And this preliminary work, this sanding, this building of the structure, with love and with intention. The intention is the work that gives the painting more than just the final image. Um, and I think intention is um, intention is part of that definition of a maker for me. Intent. You had you have tools, you have materials, and you have intention and good intentions to bring something that only exists within you out into the world. You want to do this for yourself first. You intend to make this thing because you want to do it. It starts from a very selfish perspective at first, a selfish place. But then when you think about it and you put it out there and you continue to make these things, it's not selfish at all. Like, I I don't care like what, um, I do care actually how people read these paintings. I want people to have their own reading of them. I want the people to see the things that I put into them and make their own connections. I want to allow for failure. I want to allow for bad paintings. I want the process of painting to be fun and mysterious, and I don't want to corner myself. I want to try new things, um, and that's all in the process. That's all stuff that you can't see, but hopefully, my hope is, um, and for me, I feel it. Maybe that's just because I made it, but um, all these things that I'm saying and that I'm trying to put into my work, my hope is that, um, in the final product, the work that goes into thinking about painting, into thinking about my life, and pulling these things from inside of me and bringing them out onto the canvas and covering them up, and then putting some more and covering it up, and all of this intention and time and effort, it shows through in the final image. And you know, what that's what inspires me to keep making work. And I learn every single time. Every time I touch the canvas, every time I stretch the canvas, I started at the very beginning. I'm stretching the canvas using tacks instead of tacks and a hammer instead of staples, which staples is the only thing I've ever used up until this painting. And I was watching a YouTube video, and he's the guy narrating. He's like, tacks are the better option. So, I mean, I don't have a very strong opinion, but um, tacks are a lot of fun, and it feels like more intention. I have to think more about each tack that I nail in. I have to pay more attention to every single tack that I am putting in to stretch that canvas. And that is what is the benefit for me. I feel more in touch. That sounds really corny, but it's true. Corny things, in my opinion, are corny because they're true. I feel more in touch with the canvas because I've had to hammer in all of those tacks along the edges and the back. And that was a learning experience for me, and that helped me understand how something works, and how, and all of that is being put into the canvas. All of it, regardless of whether I paint it in or I write directly on the canvas saying this is there. It is there no matter what, because that is what I'm thinking, and that is what's in my head when I am working. Um, yeah, forgot to film a big, large amount also, so it turned red and silver all of a sudden. But I want to listen to music, and yeah, what I'm saying is more important than the finished product. um, and yeah, I. Uh, anyways, I lost my train of thought. But you know, and as I keep continuing to use tacks, I'm gonna get more comfortable with them. I'm going to get more familiar, and I'm going to get better at it. And um, having that mindset, wanting, even if something looks kind of crappy at the start and the tacks aren't all perfect, that's not what it's about. It looks fine and it works really well. So I have this written in my sketchbook while I was thinking about all this stuff at work. I wrote down, paintings are the act of making. Well, I think I already said that, but anyway, uh, everything matters. I've said that in a lot of different ways already, but like, I am trying to achieve a goal. I'm trying to make this painting look good. But that's not how I started. I started knowing that I'm probably going to mess up a bunch of times. Like this. My airbrush is not working properly at all. I'm like, wow, that sucks, because now I'm not going to get the image I want. But if I'm like, well, this is what's happening in the moment, and this is what's on the canvas, isn't that exactly what I want? Don't I want don't I want the image to be as true to what I'm feeling at the time as possible? Don't I want everything that's on the canvas to be not only intentional, but also willing to be its own thing? Like, and well, like, I do, to answer all those questions. Yes, I do. I come in knowing, hey, I'm gonna paint this onto the canvas. Oh, my airbrush is being all fucky. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to roll with it because my airbrush is being fucky and I want to do this. So I'm not gonna get all mad. I'm not gonna get in a hissy fit. I'm gonna accept it and allow that to transcend into the painting. I'm gonna allow the these mistakes to I think it was Jackson Pollock that denied the mistake, and my art history professor thought that was ridiculous. But it is still a mistake, but at the same time, I understand that you can deny the fact that, well, the mistake is all part of the process. So you can, in a way, deny it. You can say it's not a mistake. Like, this is what happened at the time, and this is what I'm going to go with. And this happens a lot in during the painting process. Nothing is ever perfect, and I go with the flow. And another corny thing to say, but I let things be what they are. And yeah, like, I mean, I wrote unload at the top. I thought for like 3 minutes about what the hell I'm gonna write, just standing there with the marker. It was in time lapse, so didn't look like 3 minutes, but um, 3 minutes is a long time when they're trying to think of a good word to put on a canvas that's gonna be stand out, you know. And unloading is what I was doing at the time, and in that session I was having a very hard time trying to figure out how I would finish this painting, but in the end I had some very successful texture explorations. I had some very successful mistakes and compositional elements that I've been working with for a while in my head, and I just went for them like that devil guy. I've been drawing it all the time, and I'm just gonna keep drawing that guy in there because that's what feels right, and that's what I'm gonna do. And feels like a video game. Painting is like a video game. You're gonna mess up all the time, and you're gonna keep dying, and you're gonna keep whatever. You're gonna keep failing and not knowing what the fuck to do. But then something clicks. Something in your head is like, "Yo, that works. Like I'm gonna keep doing that." So stick with that feeling. You know, when things work.